A name is a unique identifier specific to its
A
recipient.
name is a unique identifier
A name is a
specific
unique
to its
identifier.
recipient.
A
A name is a unique identifier specific to
A
its
name is a
recipient.
unique
A name is a
identifier
unique
specific to
identifier
its
specific
recipient.
to its
A
recipient.
name is a unique
A name is a
identifier
unique
specific to
identifier
its
A name is a
specific to
unique
its
unique
recipient.
identifier
Specific to its
specific to its
A
recipient.
name is a unique identifier specific to its recipient.
My name is Jacqueline. Not Jackie, but Jacqueline. I have introduced myself my entire life as Jacqueline, but for some reason, most people want to call me Jackie. At first, I feel bad correcting them, but then get upset and think, why would you shorten my name for no reason? I've never felt compelled to do that to someone else. I was named after my grandfather, Jack Philip Craven, hence my first tattoo. I'll even take being called Jack over Jackie. I even recall my mom telling me a story about my first day of kindergarten. My mom drove up to the school to pick me up for my first day of school. However, the principal walked up to my car as I got into it and told her, well, we learned one thing about Jacqueline today. She does not like to be called Jackie. But why do I care so much? Does this affect my sense of self? Getting married is a strange experience. I went from Jacqueline Taylor Doby to Jacqueline Doby Mangrum. I had to deal with the stupid questions like, do I want to hyphenate it to Jacqueline Taylor Doby Mangrum? Hell no. Jacqueline Taylor Mangrum? Well, Jacqueline Doby Mangrum it is. At least I won't have to prove my identity later on. Shit, I remember working in a call center. Thank you for calling Oceana Resorts. This is Jacqueline. How may I help you? My God, I hated that phrase after 2 years. What's worse, I would get responses like, hey Jocelyn, or hey Jackie. But the best one was, oh thanks Catherine. I didn't even correct them at that point.
My name is Christopher, but I like to be called Chris. My parents chose to name me after Christopher Robin from Winnie the Pooh, going against my relatives' wishes to name me after my great-grandfather, Elmo. Maybe the reason I like the shortened version of my name is because I always associate my full name with getting in trouble. Maybe I don't like my full name because no one could spell Christopher back when I was in kindergarten. It was easier for kids to spell Chris, I guess. Now it kind of frustrates me when people call me Christopher. But why should I get upset? Naturally, it's my birth name. Shouldn't I accept it? When I was a kid, people usually made fun of my last name. People would mispronounce it on purpose and relate it to sexual connotations that were inappropriate and hurtful. Throughout my childhood, I just learned to ignore it. At a certain point, I just kind of accepted it. My last name has a lot of history behind it, but I didn't realize that for a long time. My dad and I began researching the genealogy of my family tree. We found out that the correct pronunciation of our last name is Moncrief in Gaelic, which translates to Hill the Sacred Bough, referring to the hill named after my family. It's kind of weird to think that there are people I've never met before who have hiked on my family's hill. In retrospect, I guess Christopher isn't so bad. I'm just happy my name isn't Elmo.
Hi, my name is Richie Grafe. I'm named after my dad, but we don't go by the same thing. My dad goes by Rich, and his side of the family calls him Rick for whatever reason. My mom absolutely hates the name Rick. So when I was born, she said that I was going to be called Ritchie. Not Rick. Not Ricky. Certainly not Rick. Ritchie. Growing up, I got teased a lot about my last name. Nobody could ever pronounce it or spell it right. So I was called all sorts of things. Grafe with a PH, Grafe, Grape, Giraffe. Like I'm not a fucking animal. You name it, I probably got called it. I can't even write a paper on Google Docs without it correcting my last name. Why couldn't people ever just get my last name right? Most people spell Ritchie right though. Most people don't put a T in it, and I'm very thankful for that. I didn't really have that problem until I became an adult. But now, people keep spelling it wrong or calling me the wrong name. But why does it bother me when people spell it with a T? It's only one letter. At this point, I've just accepted that I'm always going to have people calling me the wrong name or spelling my name wrong. And that's okay. It doesn't bother me as much as it used to. It is what it is. But it bothered me before because that's not who I am. I'm not Rick Grafe. I'm not Richie Grafe. But that's okay. I know who I am. I am Richie Grafe. And that's all that matters.
My name is Anna. In Russia, every name has a diminutive, even the name of a potato. If you're being formal, you can call it a kartoffel. But if you're being casual, you can say kartoshka. And if you're saying cute little baby potato, you can say kartoshichka. For Anna, the first diminutive is Anya, which would be used mostly by friends. If you're closer, dating or family, you might call me Annika. No one calls me that now, but I think it sounds more punk rock. So you can if you want to. Lastly is Anichka, mostly used by grandmothers. When I changed my social media from Anna to Anya, I felt really embraced by those around me, people coming up to me asking me which one I preferred. I like both, but it felt very affirming to know that people cared about what I wanted to be called. It reminds me of the privilege that I have that's not often extended to other individuals who undergo name changes. When I was a kid, one of my friends, who I now know is transgender, was asked by another one of our friends how to spell their name. They responded with the masculine spelling of their unisex name, and I, thinking they were joking and wanting to prove how well I knew them like it was a test, corrected them with the feminine spelling. In retrospect, my selfishness kept me from seeing how uncomfortable he was with that spelling, and it kept me from seeing him as he wanted to be seen. I should have called him what he wanted to be called. The ways that we recognize each other matter just as much as the recognition itself.
Okay, ready? Stop. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that looks really good.
Your head's in it.
That.
It's okay.
Just keep going with it.
I need a cue.
I need a C.
There's a C right there for Adam too.
I can't because
Here's a cue. Here, I'll spell my name. What the heck?
Are we doing our last names with or without?
We could.
We can just mess around.
Okay. I'm spelled.
Put yourself with us.